Yo, Eric, we were over here on the Paranormal Hunt, and I headed over to this other building, and it's number 13. I was just telling Ron, my God.
What a fine Monday. Nice, raining, cold day. Oh, who could ask for better than that? But no, guys, we're going to be talking about whistleblowers today. But before we start talking about the whistleblowers, I have to ask Anthony a question. I know it's very important. I was like, when should I ask this question? At the end of the show, beginning of the show. What was it like to actually ask some questions to you did that UFO conference, and you had Travis right there, and a lot of people know. I even said it myself. We know the movie Fire in the Sky and the Travis story, they exaggerated. We know the movie exaggerated, but that movie still inspired me to even want to look into the whole Travis thing and all that, and to be able. I can imagine to be able to talk to somebody who probably inspired you the same way it inspired me. What was it like?
I'll tell you this, after talking to him behind the scenes and on camera and everything, I think the guy's honestly telling the truth. His story's been the same for like 48 years. I think it was 43 or 48 years. I can't remember the math off the top of my head right now. Kept his story the same. Guy's been through multiple lie detector tests he's passed. I think he's telling the truth. He's a nice guy. And you... myself and Ron were curious about the core samples from the tree that were taken where the UFO was hovering when it dropped them off. And he actually has some of those core samples still at his house that I'm trying to get my hands on one of them so we can send it out for independent testing on our own with our UFO Alliance, because that would just really be awesome. But he also said to me that, the movie itself did not portray his encounter the way it should have. It was very dramatized. So he's actually in the middle of starting a remake of the movie right now that Travis is doing himself. That's going to be totally the way it happened. So I think that's awesome, man. He's a nice guy. He's a really nice guy.
But it's weird. It is weird to think about because, yes, we know the movie exaggerate the whole thing, but the thing is, if they didn't exaggerate it, would it capture people's imagination to study more? It's weird, right? You gotta see a little bit of evil Hollywood stuff to really capture your eye and to watch it. Otherwise, if they did not, and if it wasn't exaggerated, I'm serious. Would people even watch it? Would they even put the money to show it? So as long as people know that movies are exaggeration of a story and you got to follow the source, then it's a good thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing.
If they didn't dramatize the movie in the way that they did, I don't think it would have captivated the audience in the way that it did. But when you hear the actual story from Travis, that he believes that after he was blasted with that beam of light and he was brought onto one UFO, he believes then he was actually taken from that craft and brought onto another one to be put back together. That's why he saw what he called the Mongoloid aliens that you see in the movie, the ones that look like that. And then when he came to again, there was other aliens on the craft that looked more human-like. So he thinks there was two craft involved with two totally different species of extraterrestrial. So I think when he makes the remake of the movie, it's really going to be awesome.
That is going to be awesome. And guys, and people in the chat, this is not an Oscar talk, but for once in their freaking life, they got the movie right. Everything, everywhere, all at once. I was so shocked that it was winning everything because I saw the movie Multi-Madness with Doctor Strange. That was not a multiverse movie. That movie was a multiverse, and that for that movie to win, to be that crazy, with people with wiener hands,
That was crazy.
I was like, that, okay, they got it. And I'd love seeing the actors went in, the guy from the Goonies getting his award, crying. I love stuff like that, but I know we're not here for that. Whistleblowers. All through history, there's been whistleblowers. And when you hear the word whistleblower, it's weird now. If you're younger people, when they think of whistleblowers, I hate to say it, they think of people like Jeremy Corbell and people like that. And and they're the wrong representation of what a whistleblower really is. And if you guys don't know, like, who's like whistleblowers out there, I got a video here of whistleblowers throughout history that's not all related to UFOs and stuff. I mean, no, that, but let me pull up a video here so you guys kind of get an idea of what a whistleblower is. You see, okay, here we go. Whistleblower who changed U.S. history.
Yeah, like Charles Holt.
Whistleblower by their very act.
There we go. I found it. And there's several people on here. Here we go.
When that whistleblower by their very act of coming forward has shown more dedication to country, more of an understanding of the president's oath of office than the president himself.
I can't regret having done what I knew at the time to be what I ought to do, my duty as a citizen. I have no way that I can regret that.
And he wasn't doing it like to get elected. He really wanted the people to know what really got us going to the war. I mean, that's a real kind of a whistleblower. It wasn't about popular fame. He felt, I mean, think about it. When you send people to war, big percentage don't come back.
Correct.
It's a big sacrifice for everybody. I mean, anybody joins the military, I joined the military, you know that at any time, any day, you could be sent. And it's not, we don't want to be sent. We just want to be sent for the right reason. And if we got sent for the wrong reason and somebody's able to show that, I mean, I'm all for that. Now, here's the one about Nixon. It's pretty interesting. Now, they're going to talk about Deep Throat. Hey, people. Now, I don't know necessarily he's a whistleblower because this man that was part of the Watergate went to jail, prison for Nixon, and never said a single thing. Mm-hmm. You talk about dedication. He could have whistleblow everything even worse for Nixon, which, I mean, he did get out of office, but you know what I mean, Anthony? He never whistleblew.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just having somebody that just will take you to the grave?
Yeah.
That would take you to the grave. That is a rarity.
Sure is.
And listen, he wasn't really doing the bad. It was all Nixon. So it would be understandable if he would have came out with stuff, but that man didn't. So it's a kind of a weird calling him a whistleblower when technically he wasn't. And I love, of course, his name, Deep Throat.
I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow.
It's until 2005, of course, after he's over in the trip. We all know about
whistleblowers on.
Indeed, I did have a relationship with Mr.
I mean, we know this whole storyline because we in our prime of our age when this happened.
But these are whistleblowers on national security issues. You know what I mean? These people and UFO whistleblowers are two totally different things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I just thought I'll show some people. Those are the hardest to find.
That was not appropriate.
I got him.
In fact, it was wrong. It constituted a critical lapse in judgment and a personal failure on my part, for which I am solely and completely responsible.
that we as people can always do. They are, we can always be, like, whenever society and the institutions are failing, we can always take our own individual actions against the institutions of power, and we can always take actions against it.
I'm comfortable with the decisions I made. But I don't think it's up for me to decide the direction of the future of our society. I believe that that's a participatory, multilateral decision, and we should intentionally try to remove the outsized influence of a particular individual, and that includes myself. And that's why I do not myself ask for pardon, and I never will.
Now, I know people are asking, why am I showing this? This is not technically related to Bigfoot and UFOs. And the reason I was showing that is most of these people all went to prison, all went to jail. I mean, they had real information. Why are the so-called whistleblowers in the UFO community, Bigfoot community, how come none of them are in jail if it's that big of a leak? I mean, Anthony, if are there like famous whistleblowers in the UFO community that, I don't know, people look up to, like that's a real guy who really did it for the community?
Yeah, of course there are. Here, here's a whole bunch right here for you.
Let's see it. Let's educate the people.
So hold on, let me hit play.
I hope that the testimony here from very credible people will convince you of that and will further Steve Greer's disclosure project. In that, pressure needs to be.
When I found out what you normally do when you see a UFO, I was told that you notify NORAD. You don't necessarily write anything down. You don't write anything down. And you keep it to yourself. It's a need-to-know basis only.
And this issue happens a lot of times on my country, unfortunately. For example, March 4, 1992, we detected 15 objects west side of the Toluca airport, that is very close of our international airport at 50 miles, more or less. Then July 28 of 1994, we have almost a collision or something that we can name in that way with an international flight, domestic flight of Aeromexico 129, commanded by the pilot Raimundo Cervantes Ruano, that has a trash or something about in his main landing gear in the right leg.
Brightly glowing, reddish orange elliptical object, approximately 70 feet in diameter, emerged out of the water, shot into space, traveling at about 7,000 miles per hour. This was tracked on ship's radar and substantiated. Years later, I worked at the Naval Electronic Engineering Center in San Diego for
Navy intelligence to make out individual reports. Out of the National Archives, I have the 18-page official Navy and Air Force report. I've made up a report to straighten out all the truth. There's a stack of books out there this high that have written all of this up. So the truth is here. I will testify under oath before Congress that everything that I have said is true.
Air Force Academy in 1964 until 1971, and separated as a captain. In March of 1967, I was stationed at Malmstrom Air Force Base, Montana.
Good morning. My name is Carol Rosen. In 1974, after being a sixth grade school teacher, I was introduced to the late Dr. Wernher von Braun in the U.S., the father of rocketry. In my first meeting with him, during that first 3.5 hours, he said to me, "Carol, you will stop the weaponization of space." And I said, teachers don't stop until June. He said, no, you have.
I love that hair too.
This is February.
Yeah.
And we have to prevent the weaponization of space because there is a lie being told to everyone that the weaponization of space is now first being based upon the evil empire, the Russians. There are many enemies, he said, against whom we're going to build this space-based weapon system. The first of whom was the Russians, which was existing at that time. Then there would be terrorists. Then there would be third world countries. Now we call them rogue nations or nations of concern. Then there would be asteroids. And then he would repeat to me over and over. And the last card, the last card, the last card would be the extraterrestrial threat. Well, at the time, I kind of laughed when he said asteroids. And when he said extraterrestrials, I knew I wasn't going to deal with that subject. And now we hear on the news just today, this week, that they've slid in another enemy. Only this time we're going to protect our satellites. In other words, we have to have some reason to spend these trillions to waste these dollars on a space-based weapon system.
Apologize for that. I want to emphasize that all of these witnesses each could speak for probably anywhere from 2 to 5 hours about what they have witnessed. We were trying to give you a snapshot. We have another 400 of these witnesses.
There you go. There's at the National Press Club that Dr. Stephen Greer set up in 2001. He had over I think he had 600 or 800 government whistleblowers from around the world that had, went to the National Press Club and gave sworn testimony on all this special access black budget program, top secret information that they've been sitting on for years. They had all the documents compiled. And then what happened 2 days later? 9/11, Twin Towers get attacked, Pentagon gets attacked, and all that got swept back under the rug. And here we are now in 2023, and we're starting to hear about the UFO situation again, and the stuff with aliens that could be invading Earth that we know is a false flag operation that they were talking about from the 70s.
I know some of these are the hardest questions to ever have. Because we just don't know. Like the videos I show, these people, some of these went to prison, went to jail. Do you know if any of them, by any chance, have they served any time for leaking anything out? Or if they haven't, does the government just don't care? I think that's important that the American people are going to believe it. Because why do certain people get
here's what happens
leaks and not this?
When it comes to UFOs, if they would have put people in jail and said that they
don't make it real,
it would be real. So the best thing to do is to let that slide, like these people are idiots that don't know what they're talking about. But you're talking about captains, lieutenants, generals, 1-star through 4-star that came forward. You're talking about members of Congress that came forward, cabinet members. The president of 4 different countries came forward. I mean, Paul Hellyer came forward. He was in charge of I think the Canadian CIA, like their version of our CIA, he was in charge. He came forward. I mean, so many of these whistleblowers came forward. A lot of them had what was his name from Rendlesham Forest. He had it actually Colonel Robert Holt. He had it recorded on tape recorder, the whole thing, while they were walking up to the UFO and the strange lights in the sky above them. And I mean, there was all kinds of information and documentation like that these people had.
Anthony, I was asked on Reddit. I know Reddit's a little extreme. And I was talking to this one guy, and he was, Eric, why is your opinion of how come most of these whistleblowers, they're all old, they're all about to die, or they're all older and stuff? And I said, well, listen, first of all, people who think they know about the military, who's never been in the military, don't really know about the military unless you're in it. It's like I can't tell you what a police force is like because I was never on the police force. You were, and I was saying, listen, I was telling him, I have a nephew just got out 2 weeks ago out of the military. He's in there just for 6 years. He's got what they call a GI Bill. When you get out of service, they help pay for an apartment to get your feet, pay for college, pay to get you back, find a job, get trained. Okay. So if that's, they got benefits right when they get out. So if you think about it, you're still in the military, you're going to get out or not. And a lot of these pilots are officers. They're not enlisted men. Enlisted men and officers are two different. Officers are people are trained to be in charge. Pilots have to be officers. So in reality, they get a bigger benefit when they retire versus an enlistment, right or wrong. That's just the way it is. So when if you're going to be a whistleblower and you're about to get out, or you just got out, it's scary to know that you could lose everything. You can lose all your benefits. I mean,
and the security clearances that a lot of them rely on after they get out of the service. They rely on their security clearance, like top secret security clearances, to work in private industries that need security clearances. If they lose that, they really have no career because that's all they know.
Yeah, because when I got out, mine's called. I have a medical discharge under honorable conditions because I had a medical accident that happened in the military and all that. So that means I still get my benefits. But if I got a dishonorable discharge,
you lose everything.
Doesn't matter how many years you're in there. Doesn't matter. You lose everything. So a lot of times when you get out of the military, you get these benefits, and once these benefits are up and running, and then I'm not saying that should be when they come out, but they got nothing to lose at that point. They got more benefits, right? You know what I mean? It's like, what are they going to do to me now? I'm going to come out. So I'm not saying that's the reason why it's more of them are older when they come out, but they got less to lose when they're older versus when they're in the middle of whatever discharge they got to lose everything. And you were talking about living life, right? Living money on the table for food and family.
Right. Here, let me give me a second. I'll pull this up for you because basically the questions that I got to ask Travis Walton were like incredible. Not many people, I can't remember how many exact interviews the guy did on shows. I don't know. I don't think more than 50. So not many people got to ask questions that they've always wanted to ask to Travis. But
you rock that blue. You rock that blue. Listen, if I put that baby blue on me, people probably laugh at me, but it looks good on you.
Thank you, brother. All right, here we go. This is when the show just started and I just met Travis for the first time.
Tonight I have a friend of mine by the name of Anthony from a channel on YouTube called Unidentified S4 who wanted to meet you and also Travis. Ask you some questions. So here he is.
It's a pleasure to have you here with us tonight, Travis. How you doing?
Good to meet you, Anthony.
Absolute pleasure.
Oh, that's my
this
dog.
happened, and you were brought on the craft. Your fight or flight response took right over, and you chose to fight. You felt that you were going to be harmed while you were on there then.
Well, it was quite a shock seeing these beings, and I took that as very threatening. It was just an assumption, of course. In hindsight, I would say they were not threatening me. And as I've described before, the lack of expression on their face. Humans, when people are stone-faced, that's considered threatening. But if they're telepathic, they're not going to have things like smiles or frowns or any other sort of facial signals when you have a much richer, complete method of communication telepathically. So, facial expression would become obsolete.
Yeah.
Right.
As the years have gone on, have you received any downloads or messages or dreams or anything of that nature that you feel that are coming from them at this time or any time since?
All these wonderful insights, I hope, are of my own production.
Yeah.
What I was going to say was, in regards to your abduction, has it changed the way that you look at the world?
Definitely. I sort of orient myself from what is the alien perspective? What would be the perspective of a highly intelligent outside being in observing these activities or the thoughts and expressions of humans? It kind of gives me sort of a model for an objective outsider look at things. I think it keeps me from having the typical bias I might have otherwise had.
I mean, the guy was awesome. He answered every question I asked him. And then, after the show, he ended up coming back privately with us and we got to talk to him for a little longer. dynamite guy. And then when I told him after the show, hey, I would love to have one of those tree core samples. You think you can maybe send me a UFO man one of them so we can have them tested independently? Said no problem. And when somebody says that, that just proves to me that whatever he found on there, whatever they found on there, trace evidence wise, was legit. Otherwise, he would be like, "Oh, I got to look," or "I really don't know where they are." You know, he would have.
And it never sounded like he was trying to dance around a question.
Never.
When people dance around a question, you know,
he's 75 years old, Eric. Plus, there was a ton of people in the background. There was a band playing. It was hard to hear and stuff like that. But
he looks good for 75.
75 years old, man.
He looks good.
Yeah.
I have I have another video of why it could be technically dangerous to be a whistleblower. Why can't it be dangerous?
A mysterious twist in the death investigation of a government whistleblower. His body found in Amador County.
His death, first believed to be suicide, but now investigators are backtracking.
CBS 13's Rick Boone with what detectives are now saying.
66-year-old Philip Haney, a former DHS officer, was known in D.C. circles as a person who never held back his opinions, even about his boss, President Barack Obama.
I was told to remove all unauthorized references to terrorism.
Testifying to Congress as a whistleblower about Obama, claiming that the then...
I mean, I don't have to play the whole thing. So basically, he was found dead, and they said at first a suicide, but then they're looking into it like, no, this looks more than just a suicide. And I'm not saying a conspiracy that governments had anything to do with it, but hey, all through history, weird things happen to people who kind of speaks the truth. So when you're a true whistleblower, you are kind of putting your life on the line. You really are.
Hey, Eric, despite what people think about Bob Lazar, after he came out, he was on the highway with his Corvette, and somebody shot at him. Somebody tried to, take him out right on the highway, and he had a witness in the car with him. After that, the guy used to drive around with an Uzi, Bob Lazar. I mean, that guy gave out, if what Bob Lazar told us is 100% accurate, that guy, he gave out, special access, top secret program information that really could have got him killed. Probably coming forward was the only thing that saved his life.
Yeah. Yeah, and and when you learn all these whistleblowers, you learn what they all gone through, and then there you got on Fox News, CNN News, and you have a guy like Jerry Corbell or Corey Good and all them, and when they ask them whistleblowers, they kind of smirk like you could tell it's not about getting the information to you, it's about the fame they get it to give it to you. Totally different. Right. Anthony, I bet you if somebody if somebody handed you a secret file and they say, we want you to leak it, but leak it underground somehow, you want to try to make money off of it or try to get fame from it. If that's the way to get it out, and if you can't show your face, you would still do it. Jerry Corbell and them, I bet you nope, I have to be able to go on air and hand these files to the world. They got to know that it came from me.
The look you give the media when you know you're full of shit, but millions of people are going to believe it. That's Jeremy Corbell for you right there. And that's the truth.
Yeah, and I hate it when that. And then when I was watching one interview, they made a smirk out of it, like, "Yeah, you're a whistleblower." Like, that's not what. It's not a game. It's not a freaking game. Being a whistleblower, it's really about people who want the world because you have the information. Not a game. But people like them, it's a game. It's about fame, popularity, and money. It's all about.
Eric, it's only a matter of time before
it is.
We're at a baseball game. There's 100,000 people in the stadium, and a craft flies over the stadium, or one of them triangular craft that I see. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. It's only a matter of time. Believe me when I tell you, it will. There will be another mass sighting like 1997.
Yep. And people in the chat, don't think these people like Jeremy and them all got all these military people lined up just to leak information to them because, like we said, they'll lose everything. And is that worth? Especially, is that worth it to give it to a guy who's going to get money and fame, and you're the one who's taking all the chances? Hell no. If they got something to leak, they're going to go behind the scenes, cover their face, and they're going to talk about it. Because if there's going to be any money made, it should be them, not not Jerry and them. And I bet you, I don't know if this has happened. I bet you, if one of these people got caught leaking and they'd lose everything, I bet you Jerry and them were like, oh well, that's the chance. I bet you he wouldn't even give them $1 for the money they made. Like, you know, he knew the chances, he knew the risk. It's sad, but
Corbell knew by hooking up with George Knapp, he was going to make a fortune having George Knapp back everything that he said. You know what I mean? Having a respected journalist back up everything that Corbell says. If he didn't have George Knapp, he wouldn't be where he is right now, and that's the truth.
I'm going to play this other video. It's not about a whistleblower. It's about stories from the Native Americans about residents of Dulce claim UFOs, Bigfoot spotted in the area. And I do listen when I hear stories from the Native Americans and all that, because a lot of them, listen, there's liars with everybody. We know that. But a lot of them have loyalty and you know, stories that they just don't come out and make up, not percentage wise. You know, every culture has liars. We know that. But you know, I take it more in heart, especially the older one. Let me get it here. Residents. There we go. This is UFOs and Bigfoot.
Dulce is a quiet, unassuming town nestled in northern New Mexico. Many of its residents are members of the Jicarilla Apache tribe. They swear.
I tell stories, but my nose isn't growing.
They are not making this up.
They threw down a ladder from that spaceship, and then 2 small people started climbing down.
Jerry Julian says she had her first extraterrestrial encounter right here on her Dulce ranch about 40 years ago.
It was huge. I just saw the bottom of it. You know, it was like flat like this.
Many of her neighbors claim similar strange sightings.
Fat in the middle and kind of like rounded on the sides. You're speechless, you know? You just don't know what to think, you know? It's just like, it's like nothing you've ever encountered before.
Why are stories of the extraordinary ordinary here?
I do not know. I do not know. Probably in kind of that big mountain we have right there, you know.
Rumor has it there is a secret base hidden underneath the Archuleta Mesa here. The mountain overlooks Dulce. Some people in town say the base is run by aliens working with our federal government to conduct mind control and genetic experiments. Do you believe that?
Yeah. Well, a whole bunch of people seen it, you know.
Like the ground opened up, steam coming out of it.
They also claim they've seen some creatures cooked up in those experiments, like Bigfoot and something half human.
Down this way, the waist down, it's a goat. It has a tail. But up here, it's a man.
People tell me Dulce wasn't always a center for supernatural activity, but then sometime in the 70s, things changed. That's when cows started turning up mutilated.
They just cut out in between the legs right here. We've seen one.
I know it's not a predator, it's doing it. Someone's doing it.
Local police never definitively said who's to blame. Locals say it has to be something out of this world. And since then,
I was taking a random picture, zoomed it in, and there was a UFO right there.
They say they know it sounds crazy.
They're just going to ask me, well, how much did you drink or what did you drink?
I'll submit to a lie detector test or anything, you know.
But say it's the truth. Question is, do you believe?
Anything.
You know, is the whole town lying? Are all those older people lying? Was that police officer lying about saying that was not an animal that killed those cows? It must be done by a human or something else. I mean, are they all lying? And what are they going to gain from lying? They already own their land. I mean, I don't know. I mean, listen, they could be all on it, but are they all on it, or is there really something there? And New Mexico is known for a lot of UFOs, of course, and crap.
I just want to see if this video has audio. Give me a second. Of course it doesn't. I hate these MOV files that don't have audio. It drives me out of my mind. Pisses me off.
I mean, I can't tell you if that story's real or not, but it's kind of interesting. I mean, it might be far stretching that there's an alien base underneath the ground and they're doing mind control. I mean, that part could be a little far stretch, but
no,
how do we know? We
don't know. Because Admiral Byrd for the Navy, they went to Antarctica to map it out back in the 1940s, I think it was, and he found a hole in the Antarctic ice, and allegedly his plane that they were flying over that hole in the Antarctic got lured in by like some kind of tractor beam, brought them into like inner Earth, as the story went, and there was all these beings that lived inside what he called Hollow Earth. And that came from a 4-star admiral for the United States Navy. And allegedly there was multiple witnesses on the plane with him that witnessed that whole event. So if that's true, we may just very well have bases inside the Earth. Who knows, you know? You don't know until you know, right? So
one thing is you think you probably got to have a lot of money that somebody from the public can rent out a plane to have some kind of device to see if there's something underneath that ground.
That's very true.
And I wonder if that's tried to been done. Of course, it was stopped by if there is something, you know, because if there is something there, that means that area is being watched to make sure somebody's not doing that. But you probably can with technology nowadays that regular people can get these devices and do it themselves.
Check this out too. Remember a couple of weeks ago, I told you the story about the lieutenant who was telling the story about they were testing a rocket with a dummy nuclear warhead on it. I found the video reenactment from the guy and the actual lieutenant that tells the story. And I want to share that with you guys because I always talk about it, but we never get to see it. And finally I found it. Oh, hold on. I got to unmute the damn thing.
I'll make it bigger too.
The rocket was traveling at 11 to 14,000 miles per hour when a saucer-shaped craft entered the frame.
Flew into the frame like this, and it shot a beam of light at the warhead. Now, remember, all this stuff is flying at several thousand miles an hour. So this thing fires a beam of light at the warhead, hits it, fires another beam of light, and then flies out the way it came in. And the warhead tumbles out of space. Now, when the lights came on, Major Mansman turned around and looked at me and said, "Were you guys screwing around up there?" And I said, "No, sir." And he said, "What was that?" And I said, "It looks to me like we got a UFO."
And that's actual testimony from that lieutenant that was there and witnessed that happen. The rocket part was a reenactment, but that's how it was portrayed that it happened.
Anthony, I gotta show you this. Mike Johnson, you know, there's when people from the subscribers and from the chat, when they make you stuff.
Yep, one of the best people I know, Mike Johnson.
It is so awesome. And he made me this over the weekend. And I want to show you guys this. And this is just, how do you thank somebody for just taking their own time, not asking for money, not asking for anything, but I'm going to show you a video that he made for me. It's really awesome. I appreciate it. Here we go. Let me get this up here.
Paranormal Highway is a popular podcast that explores a wide range of
Sorry, this was made by Mike Johnson. So let me make it all big.
Paranormal Highway is a popular podcast that explores a wide range of supernatural phenomena, including UFO sightings, encounters with cryptids, and paranormal activity in the woods. Hosted by a team of experienced investigators and researchers, the show is known for its in-depth analysis of strange and unexplained occurrences. One of the recurring themes on the show is the connection between UFOs and mysterious creatures that are said to inhabit the remote areas of the wilderness. Listeners are often treated to chilling stories of encounters with Sasquatch, the Chupacabra, and other elusive creatures that seem to defy explanation. Another area of focus for Paranormal Highway is the phenomenon of ghostly apparitions and haunted locations. The team has investigated numerous sites around the world, uncovering evidence of paranormal activity and unexplained occurrences. In addition to discussing their own investigations, the hosts of Paranormal Highway often interview experts in various fields, including scientists, historians, and other paranormal investigators. These guests bring a wealth of knowledge and insight to the show, helping to shed light on some of the most mysterious and unexplained phenomena in the world. Overall, Paranormal Highway is a must-listen for anyone with an interest in the paranormal, UFOs, and cryptids. The show offers a unique perspective on some of the most fascinating and mysterious subjects in the world, and its talented team of hosts and experts is sure to keep listeners on the edge of their seats with every episode. So, if you're ready to explore the unexplained and dive deep into the mysteries of the universe, tune in to Paranormal Highway today.
Yeah, buddy.
I mean, how do you thank somebody for taking their own time to do something like that?
Awesome. Mike,
you know what I mean? I mean, he took his own time. And guys, I will upload that by itself. But before I uploaded it, I wanted to explain that, man, this guy did that on his own. Didn't ask him.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? And actually, this logo or this thumbnail, he recreated, Anthony. He recreated this thumbnail again because he said that when I had it on before, our squares was covering up the words. So he redid it so the words can be perfectly on the bottom.
I noticed that. Great job.
He did that. I mean, wow.
I'm telling you, man, Mike and I were good buddies. We talk almost every day, man. And yesterday he made something for me too. And then I went and I put music behind it. Let me see if I got it right here real quick. Yes,
I was actually going to put some music before I put it out too. I was, just a little pizzazz.
I don't know if this is the one with the music or not, but he went ahead and no, this ain't the one with the music. But anyway, I'll show it to you. He went ahead and he made me something really cool like this. Where is it? And then I put music behind it. But he makes awesome stuff like this all the time. So, if anybody's looking for somebody with talent and you don't know how to do these videos or thumbnails or editing stuff like this, go check out Mike Johnson, man, because he's just an awesome guy and he's a great friend of the shows and he's always there for everyone. Great job, Mike. We love you, buddy.
And another thing is kind of cool. I like it when certain people also like Danny Stanton texts me and says, "Hey, man, I appreciate you showing my videos that day. Made me feel like I'm part of the show." That's awesome. That's a dream, right? For us to make the people from the chat who's watching it feel like they're part of the show.
That's right. And what about my friend here, Cynthia Prince? The other day, she sent me 5 free memberships for people in the chat. We just have and Elena Ianu. We just have dynamite friends. You know what I mean? And Dutchfly61, he's always sending me dynamite, night vision footage. And then you got people like Brown Dwarf always in contact with us, showing us cool UFO footage or paranormal footage or Bigfoot footage. I think we have the best people in the chat. And by the way, everyone, Foxy and Friends is my good buddy Mike Gamble, and he's trying to get 1 million views on his pet videos. So please head over to his channel on YouTube and head over to his channel on TikTok. And let's support my brother here reaching his goal of 1 million views for the pets, all right? He just lost his pet, Foxy, and may she rest in peace. And we all want to help you out, brother. So let's all support each other and help Mike out, all right?
Before I play my next video, somebody in the chat, earlier in the channel, I didn't yell their name out, and I apologize. Somebody donated $3 to the channel.
Oh, that was PDX, I think her name was when you first came in.
PDX. Okay, so PDX, if you're still there, I apologize for not, but for you, thank you. I appreciate that. I know sometimes we get the show going. I don't get to catch everything in the chat, and I apologize for that. But this next video, I want to play because I want to see if Anthony knows this person. The video is called "They Say Kansas City is a UFO Hotspot. Will Pentagon report help you believe them?" It's a person from the MUFON, and I know you've have contacted people to move on. So I thought, I'm curious if you heard of this person. This is the main reason why I'm showing this video. Let me get it.
I had a former MUFON state director on my channel yesterday. Cheryl Costa was the state director.
Here at Lake Jacomo, which is also right next to Blue Springs Lake, and this is known as a hotspot in the greater Kansas City area for UFO and USO sightings. We've had a number of sightings coming in and out of these lakes, and also lights underneath the water where people have just seen these strange anomalous lights that they don't know what they are. I'm Margie Kay. I'm the Assistant State Director for Missouri MUFON, and
Margie Kay, have you heard of her? Is she like?
I'm familiar with the state director. I've heard of her before. I've never seen her on a video like that. I've heard the name.
Well, let's hear her talk about Kansas City UFOs.
Been an investigator for over 40 years on the subject of UFOs. The entire state of Missouri is known as a UFO hotspot, especially Kansas City. Kansas City is one of our big featured spots in the state. We are consistently in the top 10 as far as states go in the United States for UFO sightings. Other states around us like Kansas, Iowa, Nebraska, Arkansas, they don't receive anywhere near the number of reports that Missouri does. When I was 17 years old, I saw a UFO along with the rest of my family in Oklahoma that traced along with our vehicle for at least 15 minutes. And it was a cigar-shaped object, silver. It had no wings or tail, and we all knew exactly what it was when we saw it. It was an unidentified flying object. It wasn't anything conventional. And that's really what got me headed on this path. After speaking with over 1,200 people who have had encounters or witnessed UFOs, you come to the realization that there really is something going on that nobody can explain. So it's interesting work. It's also a little bit challenging because we don't have all the answers. Well, there's less of a stigma now than there used to be. Since the 70s, things have really changed, and we've got things like social media. So a lot of people are sharing things that they didn't before, and they're realizing that, hey, more people are seeing this than they realize. It's not just a few, it's a lot of people. So people want answers, and with the recent events things coming up this month, the attitude of the media has changed dramatically, and they're no longer laughing about it, they're taking it very seriously. The entire UFO community are very excited about this report that's coming out from the government to Congress, and they are supposed to release what they know about UFOs, and surely it's a lot. So, there were some leaks in the past few years by the Navy and the Pentagon, and pilots have captured these things on film and they can't explain them, and the Pentagon said, yes, this is authentic, and we don't know what they are. So the attitude about it has changed, and people want answers, and a lot of people are looking forward to what comes out in this report. Not just ufologists, the general public is interested too. It's confirmation that
of course that report came out and all that, but it's just cool to know, and I'm always curious, Kansas City, it looks like it has grass, a lot of water. I'm always looking at also why these certain hotspots. What is it there that
what it is? You know what makes a hotspot? The amount of reports that come in from that area. That's all that makes the hotspot. If you have sightings in your area and you report them, it helps. But when it becomes a hotspot, that just means that area had more people that sent in the information than other areas. That's all it means. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's actually a hotspot. Because a lot of people don't document or don't call in to move on, and so it's really hard to determine.
Well, and it's also like a paranormal video, right? Every house is the most haunted house in the world, the most haunted prison in the world, the most haunted. Everything is the most haunted. And you're right, higher population is going to have more calls. Nobody really really looks at the percentage mark, because a small town of 100 people might have 4 people see something. Percentage might be a lot higher than a city because there's more people.
If you're really interested in knowing the data behind the UFO sightings, where the actual real deal hotspots are, yesterday I had a show. I had Cheryl Costa on. She's a UFO statistician. She has the reports down to the neighborhood in every city and state in the United States. She also has a book on each state with the reports. You can buy them on Amazon. Go check out yesterday's episode. You'll enjoy it, and you'll learn a lot.
I think we got time for one more video. This video is a fun video, guys. This video, I love it when I see communities recognize why they're famous for and they have fun with it. I love stuff like that because I wish more communities had fun with their, if it's either a folklore story or true legends, UFOs, Bigfoots, it doesn't matter. But I just love it when communities have fun and embrace it. I'm actually trying to make contact with Des Moines to say, hey, what will it take? What can I do to help have a Merry Island festival every year in Des Moines where people seen it? Because when you bring communities together, people get together, they tell more stories. That's how you do it. You do it through friendship. You do it with community. That's how you grow. Not a phenomenon. That's how you grow it. You bring community together. So this is a video of a town. Let me see here. Community spotlight, Remer, Minnesota. So this is a town in Minnesota that become home of the Bigfoot.
Business owner went through extensive research to add a new title to the city of Remer. On this week's Community Spotlight, our Chelsea Brown tells us it's a title that has some pretty big shoes to fill.
Along the town of Remer, Minnesota, you'll find large silhouettes of the infamously known creature known as Bigfoot, as well as a possible life-size costume of the Sasquatch lurking the streets. And that's not, well, too out of the ordinary for this town. But something new coming to Remer is that it will now be nationally known as the home of Bigfoot.
We figured, you know what, we need to name this as the home because we truly believe that this is the home of Bigfoot and that he spread from here to other parts of the country. I think.
See, that's an interesting claim right there. That guy was saying that they believe that Bigfoot started there and it went off. That's you know what?
Claim.
Right. But I love it. I love when these towns do this stuff. I love it.
Can do a great deal for our town. This is all a new thing, and I think that people will come up and visit more.
History shares that the stories about Bigfoot and Remer began to surface around the late 1800s as sightings became more frequent in the area.
The thing is with Bigfoot, they really need 3 things to survive. And we're talking about food, water, and shelter. And Remer has all of that to offer.
There's different places around town. There's Big Sand Lake where Bigfoot was believed to have bathed and is a bathing area. There's swamps and deep cedar forests all around Remer.
The most recent local piece of evidence was a trail camera picture taken back in 2009. But it's by word of mouth with the stories shared.
She saw something brown humped over. She slowed her car, fearing it was a deer. When it stood up and walked on 2 legs into the woods, creature matched other descriptions exactly. She said she felt that it looked into her soul.
And the consistent research that goes into proving Bigfoot walks among us.
I haven't actually seen anything or seen any tracks, but I have been in deep, dark places in the middle of the night that people shouldn't be, and I've heard things that are unexplainable.
I would have to see the evidence, but I'm not ruling it out.
It's people such as us, MNBRT, and the Northern Minnesota Bigfoot Research Team to get out and engage with the public, to tell them what's going on, what's really happening out there, to educate people.
And that Remer can be the hub for conversation, allowing a place for people to share their stories.
Because it's not crazy to have had a story or had something happen to you.
On this week's Community Spotlight, Chelsea Brown, Lakeland News.
If you've enjoyed,
and I agree with Pine Island Research wrote, Remer is not the origin, but they have a big festival and it's marketing. Listen, we don't know the true origin of the Bigfoot. Nobody knows. But I just love it when towns do stuff like this with festivals because it does bring people together. Kind of like when, the Travis you have on, that was because there was a UFO con right there near Area 51, right? Roswell. I mean, it brings people together. People have fun. That's why I love when communities does this. And I just don't want it all be at Roswell. It's nice to see
Roswell's a spot,
goes on
man. I'll be there.
in the whole United States.
I'll be there next year to talk at the UFO Expo. I can't already wait. Even though it ended yesterday, I can't wait for the next one.
Oh, they're just so fun. These cons, just brings people together to just tell stories.
This summer, I'm gonna hit as many as I can this summer.
Oh yeah,
I'm telling you, we all got to get together and go, Eric. Me, you, Ron.
Yeah. Well, we were talking. We were talking before the show about some things that we're doing that's exciting.
We got stuff in the works.
It's very exciting. So everybody today, let me see here, 10:59. I kind of started late. I do actually have one more video. It's a Bigfoot video claims 2013 footage. And since Pine Island Research is in the chat, Danny and all that, guys, I want you to let me know, it's a short video, is this considered fake, fraud, or what's known of this video they're going to show in this? So we got great people that represents the Bigfoot community in the chat, so they might tell us more about this video. One last video.
Breaking news out of Texas, Bigfoot is real. According to a group of researchers, they call themselves the Sasquatch Genome Project, and they released what they say is proof. Several never-before-seen short video clips of the legendary and very shy creature. The group spent 5 years and $500,000 coming to this conclusion. One clip is of Sasquatch sleeping, shot during the day in Kentucky back in 2005.
Okay, all you great people in the Bigfoot community, what do we really know about a Bigfoot sleeping? I don't know. I don't believe it. But
I don't think somebody would have the nerve to walk up on a Bigfoot sleeping. That's just me. I mean, I don't know, man.
But people in the community, what do you guys know about this group? What do you know about this footage? Is there anything that we don't know? I'll play. There's only like 30 seconds left.
Sleeping, shot during the day in Kentucky back in 2005.
We've all had experiences that have changed our lives. I mean, literally shook the foundations of what we believe in.
Besides the video, they say they also have DNA proof of Bigfoot's existence. One of the researchers stressed that
Danny wrote, these guys are 100% real, but their evidence is average at best. Okay.
Why would you? I'm sorry. If there was a Bigfoot 30 yards away from you and you knew you had the opportunity, you had a camera in hand, you knew you had the opportunity to get right up on it and get dynamite, why wouldn't you take the chance to run up there and get that footage?
I know.
Man,
right?
I would have ran up there so fast, Eric, man. I would have risked my life to get that footage.
Brown Dwarf, she wasn't sleeping. She was taking a nap.
Probably.
Their work has been a, quote, serious study.
And there's a part of short walking. And
breaking news out of Texas.
Let me see if I can get that. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Is the green part right there. Watch the thing walk. It looks too human watch. Here, okay. I'm gonna make it bigger.
Besides the video, they say they also have DNA proof of Bigfoot's existence. One of the researchers stressed that their work has been a, quote, serious study.
In a suit.
That's a man in a suit, in my opinion. But I mean, so any great people, what do you got? I know Danny says something about it. Pine Island Research, are you still there? What do you think about it? I know Dean and P, you do a lot in the community. Judy, Willer, I know you're into the Bigfoot community a lot. So what do you guys think? Is that real? Did somebody really catch Bigfoot napping or not? So if you think that was Bigfoot, put a 1. If you don't, put a 2. Here we go. I walked up on a sleeping black bear before. If BF is flesh and blood, it's possible, but seems unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
Because Listen, I think even when they're sleeping, these cryptids, they have the ability to smell you. They know you're coming. They can wake up in a second.
Can you imagine walking up on something sleeping and it sees a human for the first time? It's going to be scared shitless and try to defend its territory. You're going to probably get killed, you know? That's why I don't think that was real footage.
A lot of people are putting 2 on there. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, and if it was, wouldn't that footage be talked about more? I mean, I have
national headline news.
You know? So
I-
guys, that's all the stuff that I have for today. Let me pull up Unidentified Expert channel. We'll see what's coming up.
I didn't put that Wednesday show up yet.
Well, okay, but you did it. But actually, here, let me pull up UFOs Man channel for the
all the clips are on my channel, Travis.
Every single clip? Okay. Perfect. Let me pull up your channel. Let me share the screen. Share. Identify S4. Go to his videos, right? His videos. And he's got Travis Walton discussing UFO trace evidence, Travis Walton interview clips. So, and you also have a clip of you interviewing AV Loeb.
AV Loeb, yeah. There's also clips of Travis in the shorts too. Not in my shorts. I mean in the short videos.
I just saw him.
Who, Ozzy?
Just being interviewed yesterday on another channel. I can't remember the channel, but he was just doing an interview yesterday on somebody else's channel. I can't remember.
He's making the rounds, Avi. Play my precious. Oh, there's no volume.
Never. Smeagol hates me.
So you're telling me my wife did it?
She always needs to feed. She must eat. All she gets is filthy oxes. And that doesn't taste very nice, does it, precious? No. Not very nice.
Yo, did you eat my meatballs I had saved in here?
Never. Smeagol hates me.
So you're telling me my wife did it?
She always needs to feed. She must eat. All she gets is filthy oxes. And that doesn't taste very nice, does it, precious? No. Not very nice.
Yo, did you eat my meatballs I had?
Eating your meatball. How dare it eating meatball?
Did you eat my meatball? We made the new logo for the UFO Research Alliance. We changed the name to the UFO Initiative. It's nice and to the point. It's less to type. The domain name is established. We now own it. Trademark is in process of being trademarked. And there is a mission statement up on Facebook now for it as well. So that's our new program with me, Ron, and Eric, the UFO Initiative, which means everybody will be able to start sending us the UFO footage and all of that stuff, trace element evidence and all of that stuff. And we'll be able to send it out to 3 independent laboratories to do independent testing. And once we get the results back, everybody will know what's going on. We will be keeping the world informed. It won't be secluded to just us. Everybody needs to know what's going on in these fields with this kind of information so we can all share it and use it together. So that's the proposal I'm putting forward for that initiative.
Great times are coming. Great times are coming. Well, people, forgot to say my word. I forgot. We'll see you all next time on the Paranormal Highway.